Knowles. That's the head coach, Owen Coyle.
We'll take one more break and we come back. Eddie Robinson, former Dynamo All-Star, will join us. We'll have starting lineups and more. Kickoff at 7:30. It's Dynamo and Austin Aztex here on Mountain Sports Radio 1560.
Discount time.
Welcome back to BBVA Compass Stadium here in Houston. Now joined by Dynamo legend Eddie Robinson. Eddie, your initial thoughts on tonight's match between the Dynamo and Austin Aztecs?
It's not going to be a pushover match for the Dynamo. I sat down with Paul Dalglish for a cup of coffee earlier today, and he plans on this being a battle, a physical battle, a mental battle. This is not going to be a pushover for the Houston Dynamo. These players are going to have their work cut out for them tonight.
Well, let's get right to the starting lineups first for Paul Dalglish. And the Austin Aztecs, they've already beaten Laredo and San Antonio in the first two rounds. Now in the fourth round, they unleash this lineup. It's Devin Perales, their goalkeeper, the back four from right to left, Max Gunderson, Lance Rosaboom, and Fernando Timbo, a Brazilian. The left back is El Paso native Mikey Ambrose. A three-man midfield, Eddie, with Guatasi, Tony Rocha, a Houston native, and then Greg Mulamba, who we think is making his Austin debut after a loan to Oklahoma City. Chris Tierpak played at HBU, was with Chivas USA last year, a former PDL MVP on the right. Cueto up front, and on the left, Sene Torre. What stands out to you about that lineup, Eddie?
Well, again, talking with Paul Dalglish today, he thinks this is going to be a battle. So he specifically put Roca and Mulamba in the middle of the field to win second balls, break up plays, and try to start counterattacks.
Meanwhile, for the Houston Dynamo, a total of 10 changes from the team that beat New York Red Bulls 4-2 10 days ago. Joe Willis, who had some great success with DC United in the U.S. Open Cup 2 years ago, he is in goal. The back four from right to left, Kofi Sarkodie, Raul Rodriguez, AJ Cochran, and Corey Ash. So Kofi gets his first start in over a month. Corey Ash makes his 2015 debut here in the middle of June, Eddie.
Well, these are a bunch of guys that Owen Coyle have said, listen, if you put your best out there, you can make it difficult for me to not choose you on a Saturday in an MLS game. There's a lot of guys in this 11 today that have played MLS minutes, and there are some that haven't, that want to play MLS minutes. So you can't ask for a better opportunity than a tough game against a lower division side to prove your worth.
It's a 4-5-1 or 4-3-3, depending on how you look at it. Three in the middle, Zach Steinberger, the rookie out of Butler University. Alex, the Brazilian, makes his Dynamo debut after a trade over a month ago from Chicago. And also in the Midfield, you have Rob Lovejoy on the left and Leonel Miranda on the right. Up front is Chandler Hoffman, and that's your Houston Dynamo starting 11. We'll take a break. When we come back, we'll look at scores from last night, and we'll get Eddie Robinson's thought on the wild one between Seattle and Portland. This is Dynamo Soccer.
As a BBVA Compass customer, you have the chance to show your true colors every time you open your wallet.
Wow.
Oh, yeah.
Presenting Dynamo Banking, featuring debit and credit card options that can help you reach your goals. Open your account today at any of our 80 locations in Houston or online at bbvacompass.com/dynamo. Team works in soccer and in banking.
BHP Billiton is a leading global resources company with mining and oil and gas interests worldwide. Our reputation is built on proven performance, helping provide the energy that keeps the world moving, cities growing, communities thriving. And we combine this innovative spirit with a commitment to sustainability, developing natural resources with responsibility and integrity, today and for years to come. BHP Billiton, resourcing the future.
From the first time the ball hit the back of the net, we could feel a sport on the rise. Our passion burning, our tradition building, our city united. Amongst a sea of orange, we are the home field advantage. We began, we will remain, forever orange, forever one.
He's taking the world by storm. Grammy-nominated Ed Sheeran, live in concert. BBVA Compass Stadium, September 3rd, with special guest Christina Perri. Tickets on sale now at bbvacompassstadium.com, AXS.com, or by phone. The #1 selling album, Multiply, is in stores and online now. There's more at edsheeran.com. Produced by AEG Live and the Messina Group.
Pioneering ways to protect neurons and give ALS patients more time. Personalizing drug treatments to treat the most aggressive breast cancer. Performing multi-organ transplants to fight the most complex illnesses. Creating options for patients who thought they had none. That's the difference between practicing medicine and leading it. Houston Methodist, leading medicine.
Learn soccer the Dynamo way and start your path to the pros. The Houston Dynamo offer youth programs for every age and skill level, from a challenging introduction to soccer to intensive competition training and opportunities to play for the Dynamo Academy.
This is Ricardo Clark of the Houston Dynamo. The Dynamo youth programs offer the professional environment required to develop your game and prepare you for success.
To find out more or to register for Dynamo youth programs, visit HoustonDynamo.com.
Back to BBVA Compass Stadium here on Yahoo Sports Radio, 1560, and HoustonDynamo.com with former Dynamo defender Eddie Robinson. I'm Matt Peterson. Eddie, a wild night in the U.S. Open Cup last night. Mostly MLS teams holding serve, but a wild one at Starfire in Tukwila, Washington. Portland going on the road to beat Seattle, but an ugly end to that one.
Well, listen, everybody has been hammering Clint Dempsey all day about his behavior, and I agree. He should have behaved himself, but what does the United States Soccer Federation expect from a referee that has never reffed a Major League Soccer game? You are putting him in the middle of a game in a single elimination tournament between the two teams in the league that have the most animosity for each other. So what do you expect is going to happen? He's going to dish out cards. He's going to lose control of the game. If there were a more experienced referee in the game, it never would have gotten to that point, and we wouldn't be talking about Clint Dempsey today.
Portland ends Seattle's reign in the U.S. Open Cup. They won 4 of the last 6 Open Cup trophies, including a win last year, a 3-1 win after extra time. Another thing that stood out last night, it was mostly A lineups by MLS clubs.
This just kind of shows where the U.S. Cup has placed itself among the priorities of Major League Soccer clubs. In the past, we've seen second-string goalies, B teams, reserve players that don't normally start on Saturdays in MLS games. Last night, no problem. MLS teams, I think, are a little bit sick and tired of hearing that these USL teams can hang with them. They proved it last night that when the best team's on the field for each squad, MLS is far and away better.
Over 19,000 fans in Kansas City last night. Quickly, the scores from tonight's games. Columbus leading Richmond Kickers 3-1 at halftime. New York City FC leading the New York Cosmos 1-0 at halftime. Charlotte, New England scoreless. Pittsburgh and DC United 1-1 at Highmark Stadium. Charleston, Orlando also tied. And one game later tonight, the LA Galaxy and PSA Elite. We'll take our last break. When we come back, we will have kickoff from BBVA Compass Stadium. It's the Dynamo and Austin Aztecs next.
As a BBVA Compass customer, you have the chance to show your true colors every time you open your wallet.
Wow. Oh, yeah.
Presenting Dynamo Banking, featuring debit and credit card options that can help you reach your goals. Open your account today at any of our 80 locations in Houston or online at bbvacompass.com/dynamo. Team works in soccer and in banking.
BHP Billiton is a leading global resources company with mining and oil and gas interests worldwide. Our reputation is built on proven performance, helping provide the energy that keeps the world moving, cities growing, communities thriving. And we combine this innovative spirit with a commitment to sustainability, developing natural resources with responsibility and integrity, today and for years to come. BHP Billiton, resourcing the future.
From the first time the ball hit the back of the net, we could feel a sport on the rise. Our passion burning, our tradition building, our city united. Amongst a sea of orange, we are the home field advantage. We began, we will remain, forever orange, forever one.
Pioneering ways to protect neurons and give ALS patients more time. Personalizing drug treatments to treat the most aggressive breast cancer. Performing multi-organ transplants to fight the most complex illnesses. Creating options for patients who thought they had none. That's the difference between practicing medicine and leading it. Houston Methodist, leading medicine.
He's taking the world by storm. Grammy-nominated Ed Sheeran, live in concert. BBVA Compass Stadium, September 3rd, with special guest Christina Perri. Tickets on sale now at bbvacompassstadium.com, axs.com, or by phone. The #1 selling album, Multiply, is in stores and online now. There's more at edsheeran.com. Produced by AEG Live and the Messina Group.
Learn soccer the Dynamo way and start your path to the pros. The Houston Dynamo offer youth programs for every age and skill level, from a challenging introduction to soccer to intensive competition training and opportunities to play for the Dynamo Academy.
This is Ricardo Clark of the Houston Dynamo. The Dynamo youth programs offer the professional environment required to develop your game and prepare you for success.
To find out more or to register for Dynamo youth programs, visit HoustonDynamo.com.
America, center of equal daughters, equal sons, all alike and good, grown, ungrown, young or old, strong, ample, fair, enduring, capable, rich, perennial with the earth, with freedom, law, and love.
Welcome to BBVA Compass Stadium with former Dynamo defender Eddie Robinson. I'm Matt Peterson. This game simulcast on Yahoo Sports Radio 1560 and at HoustonDynamo.com. Eddie, we saw the 10 changes in Owen Coyle's team. What is the danger of bringing 10 changes into a game like this?
Well, look, when you get a USL team playing against an MLS team, they're going to give you everything they've got, no matter whether they played yesterday or last week. This is going to be a physical battle. The Dynamo players tonight have to be prepared for high pressure, for a lot of hard tackles, especially in the first 10 minutes. That's when these USL teams really make their mark. The first 10 minutes, if the Dynamo can maintain composure, keep a little bit of possession, after the first 10 minutes, I think the game will settle down. But this first 10 minutes is huge for these players that, outside of Raul Rodriguez, AJ Cochran, haven't gotten a lot of MLS minutes this year.
Eddie, you played with Paul Dalglish. You know him well. What do you think his message is to his team coming in, looking for their third straight Open Cup win?
Well, I spoke with Paul today. I went and had coffee with him. He said they're not scared. They're not nervous. They're not worried. The Dynamo have everything to lose. They have nothing to lose. They're going to come out and try to high press the Dynamo and make the game difficult for them. They put a couple of guys in midfield, in Mulamba and Roca, that are going to fight and battle and scrap and probably kick Nathan Sturgis and those guys a lot. So they're going to bring it.
And this is a USL team. There's a lot of youth, Eddie, but a lot of experience. You have a lot of guys in their upper 20s on this team. You mentioned Mulamba. He spent the last 7 years with the Laredo Heat, a PDL team, but a team that knows this competition well. Storms have decimated Texas over the last few days. Tropical Storm Bill downgraded to a tropical depression, but ton of rain in the Texas area, but the field is playable, and we're delighted to be here tonight. It's the 4th round of the U.S. Open Cup. A win tonight, and the winner moves on to the 5th round, the round of 16. The draw is tomorrow morning, 10 a.m. Central Time. The Aztecs are in blue, the Dynamo are in orange. Our referee is Luis Guardia, and we are underway from BBVA Compass Stadium. It's a single elimination format. The Dynamo trying to move on to the round of 16. Their deepest ever run is the semifinals. They got there twice, 2006 and 2009. These teams met once before in this competition. It was a 1-0 win, July of 2009. Corey Ash, a goal and an assist, and he starts tonight for the Dynamo. Immediately, it's Raul Rodriguez wearing the captain's armband for the very first time, and Willis making his Dynamo debut forward from his goalkeeper area.
Matt, immediately, first thing you recognize, Dynamo are playing a 4-5-1, and Chandler Hoffman trying to high press the ball, but he's up there by himself, so he's got to get his angles right. He's going to do a lot of useless running tonight.
The Dynamo had an intra-squad scrimmage involving some academy players on Saturday. They, of course, didn't play last weekend. They're the much more rested team. Austin had the misfortune of going to Portland. They fell 3-1 against Timbers 2 on Sunday. They flew through Houston on Monday night, back to Austin, had a day of rest yesterday, took a bus in this morning, about a 2.5 or 3 hour bus ride. But they're delighted to be here after wins against Laredo and San Antonio. The Aztecs trying to scalp an MLS foe.
Well, early on, the Dynamo are just sitting and being patient. They're not high pressing with the exception of Hoffman. They've allowed the center backs for Austin to pick up the ball and try to play out. It's led to a couple turnovers.
Lovejoy inward towards Sturgis.
And there's the question. When the Dynamo turn over Austin, can they turn that quickly into attack? You don't have your Brad Davises out here. You don't have Will Bruin. You don't have these guys that are sharp on the ball. You've got these guys that haven't played a lot of MLS minutes. So can they emulate that? Owen Coyle's been after them all week, so we'll see how it goes.
Austin building out of the back. Good win from Sturgis. He had a dislocated shoulder that he hurt against FC Dallas at the start of May. It's kept him out of the lineup about the last 6 weeks. Austin back in possession, scoreless 3rd minute from Houston. A Texas derby of sorts, Austin against Houston for the second ever time in a competitive meeting. Chris Tierpak played at Houston Baptist University. And he loses out to Kofi Sarkodie, and a throw in here to Max Gunderson.
Matt, as soon as that ball turned over, Austin sent 4 players high. 3 attacking players, and they're attacking midfielder. Dynamo have to be careful on both sides of the ball, and transition is so important.
Gunderson played at Incarnate Word University, a Division II powerhouse in San Antonio. Hard into a tackle here against Lovejoy, the North Carolina native. Nearly got there, but it's Corey Ash conceding the corner kick, the first of the night for either team.
With the exception of A.J. Cochran, this is not the tallest lineup for the Houston Dynamo. Austin has some big fellas. Timbo coming forward, Mulamba, all these guys very big. Roseboom, Dynamo need to make sure they're nice and tight because they can't match for height.
Here comes the corner kick, Andres Cuero, an Austin native. Very patient as the runs develop. Still alive in the area, Rodriguez halfway away. A series of headers and Lovejoy clears. Back to Cuero. Andres Cuero against Corey Ash, good defending. Now Cuero into the area. Wet field here in Houston, and Alex, the Brazilian, in his Dynamo debut after a trade from Chicago, relieves pressure. Miranda draws a foul.
Hey, you see there, Corey Ash hasn't lost a step. Always been one of the best 1v1 defenders in the league. Very good feet, doesn't dive in, but a very good outlet pass from Alex Lopez. Dynamo able to just ease it up, get a set piece. Now the Dynamo got to be careful. Again, we talk about transition. It's a wet field. It's a very, very bumpy field. So don't look for there to be a lot of consecutive passes tonight. This is going to be a scrappy game.
Corey Ash, 211 regular season appearances with the Dynamo. Second most all-time, but this is his 2015 debut. DeMarcus Beasley leads all field players in minutes. Here's Sarkodie overlapping with Miranda. And Sarkodie wins a corner kick.
Good by Chandler Hoffman there, showing the feet. He's a bit deceptive. He's not your normal, your typical hold-up forward, but good build-up play to find his feet, switch the point of attack.
Lionel Miranda to take this one from Independiente in Argentina. Some playing time early in the season, but been tough to get on the field as of late. Good service. Cochran with the header. He puts it past the far post. No deflection from the goalkeeper. It's an Austin goal kick, but Eddie, we've seen it all season in MLS play. The Dynamo have been dominant on set pieces.
Yeah, and there was a good article this week about the belief and the understanding, but also training and making sure you do it right, making sure your runs are timed right, making sure the service is correct. And when it is, you're going to get chances. And we saw A.J. Cochran there. Good movement to get on the end of it. Didn't really test Morales.
Miranda's 6th appearance with the Dynamo. His last was a substitute role May 10th at Toronto, but he took a lot of set pieces in preseason when he scored 2 good goals. Big switching ball. The field a bit chewed up, Eddie. There was a Major League Lacrosse All-Star game here about 10 days ago. Or just a few days ago, rather. That was Saturday. So it doesn't help the field, but part of being a multi-use stadium that's designed for soccer. Thumping ball out of the back. This is Saini Torre. Last couple of seasons with San Antonio Scorpions with space. Good help from Alex. He got the man, but the referee says play on.
Oh, wow. That was a foul if I've ever seen one. That's the first time we've seen the center back for Austin bring the ball out and actually complete a pass. Austin unlucky there.
That was Alex Montero. Goes by Alex. He's a Brazilian. Several years with Chicago and acquired from Jason Johnson in a 1-for-1 swap at the early part of April. There he is, number 14, into a crowd. Paul Dalglish off the bench giving instructions to his team. Dalglish, the PDL Coach of the Year in 2013 when the Aztecs then at the PDL level.
He's given the fourth official some business, and I agree with him. Austin should have had a free kick just outside of the Dynamo box a minute ago.
Andres Cuero dropping off. Westlake High School in Austin, went to UNC Charlotte.
Okay, so you keep an eye on Chandler Hoffman. He's really shading towards this left side. And they're trying to get Timbo on the ball. Roseboom, that gives a little bit of pressure. They don't want him on the ball. You see there with Gunderson, some high pressure and a good turnover. Wow.
Good feet from Alex. Steinberger getting forward. Rob Lovejoy back to Alex, a nutmeg. And the Brazilian calmly switches it wide to Sarkody.
It's really good pressure, Matt, from the Dynamo, but their first two passes are square back. They need to play forward. Chandler Hoffman needs to be on his toes looking for that first pass. Some good skill and some nutmegs, and yeah, that looks pretty, but it's not as effective as finding that first ball into the center forward and getting Zach Steinberger out underneath him.
Joe Willis, the primary starter for DC United 2 years ago when they won the Open Cup. He did not start the final, but in a very lost season in the nation's capital, he was a big man as they won the trophy. Cochran, good read that time. He wins a throw-in for the Dynamo as his slide went off Max Gunderson.
AJ Cochran needs to establish his physical presence tonight, because Raul Rodriguez isn't that kind of player. Kopi Sarkody, Corey Ash, they're not that kind of player. They're technical players, good with the ball at their feet. AJ Cochran, when he gets the chance, like he did there, really put in a tackle and send a message to these Aztecs players saying, you don't want to be around me. Get a little mental advantage.
10th minute from Houston. Good ball from Cochran to find Miranda.
What a ball.
Miranda. Lost out that time. That's Mikey Ambrose. But the Dynamo retained possession, and Sarkody caught up. It's a free kick to Houston.
It's a fantastic switch by AJ Cochran. This is a good spot, again, for the Dynamo. Kopi Sarkody joining the attack as he always does, gets pulled back. Fortunately for Edmonds, doesn't get a yellow card.
It's either going to be Alex, the Brazilian, or Miranda, the Argentine. Miranda, 21 years of age, 2.5 years with Independiente and Argentina's first division. Miranda, right in amongst the big bodies, but no one from the Dynamo can get ahead on it.
You can't ask for any better service, Matt. And that was in a perfect spot. Good high press again from the Dynamo. Turning the ball over in Austin's half of the field, and now we're getting past that 10-minute mark, Matt, that we talked about, where the adrenaline would start to wear off for the Aztecs. So I think you'll start to see now the Dynamo may be able to keep it a little bit more.
Hoffman dropping deep. It's his first Dynamo start. He's come off the bench 5 times in regular season play. Nate Sturgis.
First time we said his name tonight, Matt. And to be honest, I mean, he's that player that these younger guys for the Dynamo would look to. Keep possession of the ball. If they're in a bit of pressure, give it to Nathan Sturgis because he can get you out of pressure. We haven't seen him too much on the ball tonight. And I know that middle of the field, as everybody can see that's watching, is really torn up, but he's a guy you want on the ball. Let him dictate the pace of play.
Now Alex draws a foul, another dangerous spot. Austin will contest, but a Dynamo with the set piece. What have you seen early on from the set pieces from Houston, Eddie?
The service has been excellent. We saw the first one, AJ Cochran got his head on, just couldn't direct it on goal. The second one a moment ago got through everyone. You can't have that. Whoever's going to the back post cannot allow that to happen. You don't necessarily have to have a shot, but get that ball back across goal. Don't allow these to be wasted.
This time it's Alex with the left foot. Didn't hit it that well. Cleared by Tierpak. Second chance for Alex. Kept alive in the area. And he'll be out for a Houston throw-in next to Paul Dalglish.
Don't see why you'd change that one. Don't see why you'd change it. Why not let Miranda continue to serve? His service was excellent on the first two. Don't need to change it.
Greg Mulamba, 28-year-old, born in South Africa, last 7 seasons with the Laredo Heat. Joined Oklahoma City Energy on loan, interesting loan in league at the USL level, but making his Aztecs debut tonight in the 4th round of the Open Cup. Good pressure by Alex. Dangerous back pass from Rosenboom, excuse me. But no problem for Perales. Chris Tierpak. Dealt with well by Raul Rodriguez.
That experience that I'm sure AJ Cochran's happy to have Raul Rodriguez back there with him. Times his tackles great, rarely misses.
From Copa del Rey to the U.S. Open Cup, Raul Rodriguez, 4.5 years with Espanyol in Spain. Been a regular for the Dynamo as Tierpak runs through the middle. Working with Toure, but good defending in the end by Sarkodie and Cochran. And Sturgis draws a foul.
We saw again there, Glenn, when Kofi Sarkodie won that ball, plays it back to AJ Cochran. AJ Cochran has no options because Trevor Hoffman's by himself, marked by 3 Aztec players. That's the only problem when you're playing a 4-5-1. Yes, you're going to win balls in good areas, but the issue is, what do you do with it next? Do you have a positive pass? And so far, the Dynamo haven't.
Again, Hoffman dropping off. Steinberger did well. Nathan Sturgis with Cochran and now Corey Ash.
But I will say this, Matt. Better be safe than sorry for the Dynamo. I don't mind that they're playing 4-5-1. It's an extremely wet field, an extremely bumpy field. There's going to be some balls that just take ridiculous bounces tonight, so it's better to be safe than sorry. So with that 4-5-1, it's okay.
Miranda with Alex. Here's Hoffman. Lays it back. Sarkodie. 5 in the box for Sarkodie. Takes a touch towards the back post. Lovejoy! But he did not win the header. Sene Torre. Good work tracking back from the Austin forward.
Here's another example for 4-5-1. You get a lot of players forward, and Austin had to have all 11 back.
Alex with Sturgis. Now the Dynamo gaining more and more control of this game. Rodriguez, wide right. Leonel Miranda. Service blocked by Tierpak.
Much better now, the Dynamo. They have calmed down. As Austin have calmed down, they've lost a little bit of their adrenaline, and now the Dynamo are able to move the ball around. Now patience is a key.
Tierpak was the PDL MVP 2 summers ago. 9 appearances. Tries this one, and it's just wide. I think Willis had it read the entire way, made himself look calm, but I kind of like that, Eddie. Audacious effort, 40 yards from goal.
I certainly don't mind it. Doesn't have anything going forward, and caught Joe Willis up about a 6-yard line and hit a little drive to hit the side net. I mean, you see it here. I mean, it's not terrible effort. He doesn't lob it. He drives it.
Tierpak knows the Dynamo. When he played at HBU, they played the Dynamo every Houston preseason. Now he wins it. Bad turnover, Raul Rodriguez. Tierpak. Gunderson bursting forward, wants it at the right back position. Tierpak 6 goals this year, leads the Aztecs. 9 appearances, a goal and an assist last year with Chivas USA, taken by San Jose in the dispersal draft, but was waived at the end of the preseason and came back to his hometown club, the Aztecs. He grew up in Dripping Springs, Texas. They're in the hill country. Rodriguez directing traffic. Hoffman, good settle. Over the top, targeting Alex. Alex does get there to keep it alive, and then the flag comes up in the end. It's a goal kick to Austin.
Tell you what, that's some really good play by Chandler Hoffman. His first touch, and on a difficult surface, a really good first touch to keep possession of the ball. Very impressed. And even the second one to look for Alex over top. Very, very good by Chandler Hoffman.
Hoffman's last appearance, April 25th against Kansas City. And it's almost 3 months without an appearance for Alex. His last game, March 14th with Chicago against Vancouver. Now Steinberger whistled for a hard challenge at midfield, free kick to Austin as Rodriguez lost his shoe.
Steinberger struggling a little bit to find his way in this game. Haven't gotten a lot of touches, maybe a little bit of frustration here. Maybe fortunate to just get a talking to here from the referee.
Here comes a replay, Eddie. We see Tierpak.
Yeah, wow. You can argue that Steinberger got a piece of the ball first, but his studs up very, very high. And he's lucky to not receive a yellow card for that. You know, maybe another referee might even give him a red.
Yeah, it was Sini Toure, the 25-year-old from the Gambia. He started Sunday at Timbers 2. But a long career in USL Pro, the last couple years in the NSL with San Antonio Scorpions. Prior to that, over 20 goals in 3 years with Harrisburg City Islanders. Eddie had a cup of coffee in 2008 with the New York Red Bulls. Free kick, Austin, just beyond the center circle, put in by Cueto, and the offside flag comes up.
Aztecs just looking to go back post. Tugutasi just trying to get him back across, but if you're going to do that, you got to commit more numbers to the box if you're Austin, because the Dynamo have so many players back defending.
Settled by Tierpak, does well to elude Rodriguez. Cochran, hard challenge that time on Andres Cueto. Free kick to Austin.
Don't mind it. Don't mind it. Yep, foul. Good call by the ref. The referee. But again, the Dynamo allowing the center backs here to play these long balls. And 9 times out of 10, A.J. Cochran's going to win this ball. A little bit late. Yes, it's a foul, but guess what? Cuero's going to have his, he's going to be checking his shoulder every time that ball comes in high. Dynamo a bit fortunate there.
Yeah, very close chance. Torre put in Andres Cueto, and he nearly got there just beyond his outstretched toe. Willis made the claim at the back for Houston, but a shaky 4 or 5 minutes, Eddie, here for the Dynamo. The Aztecs, chance after chance. And now it's Lovejoy. But what has changed in the last few minutes, Eddie, after a strong start for Houston?
What really was the set piece there. You knew after the first one, the second one, what was going to happen. Lob towards the back post, tried to be laid across to a second runner. The Dynamo have to recognize it.
Good interplay from Houston, but in the end, Alex just a little too far in front of Sturgis, but I thought more good settling play, hold-up play from Chandler Hoffman.
Very good. He's been solid tonight in possession, but if you're talking about a lone striker, you want him to be good in front of goal. You want him to be getting chances. He needs a little help from Miranda and Lovejoy out on the wings.
Here's Alex. He's been very Often on the ball tonight, wide right to Hoffman. Hoffman keeps it alive, looking for runners. 2 in the box. Hoffman at the end line. It's Alex, but it was just behind him. Second chance for Lovejoy. What a save, Devin Perales. Best chance of the night for the Houston Dynamo.
And that's the width that the Dynamo need to utilize. And you'll see here, Chandler Hoffman, what you can't see is the movement from Robbie Lovejoy on the back post. He tries to go near, takes the defender, and leaves himself this space and time to get this shot off. The composure to inside the foot, go to the back post, robbed by a great save by Perales.
Corner kick, Houston, headed down by Sturgis and palmed away by Perales. Lovejoy goes for the chip, and it's cleared off the line. Huge chance. 2 in a row for Rob Lovejoy. What a goal that would have been.
You say composure from Rob Lovejoy. How many rookies try to smash this back on target? Just puts his toe under it. And what a defensive play there. By Gunderson, I believe it was. Or was it Gunderson or Ambrose? What a play. What a play.
Yeah, it was past Perales who made another good save at the post. But Lovejoy flashing into form, had a wonderful game against Montreal back in April where he had a goal and an assist off the bench. Now the Dynamo breaking out. Here comes Alex. Sturgis to his left, no look pass. Miranda's onside. Lionel Miranda! And it's 1-0 Houston! Miranda's first Dynamo goal! And it comes here in the Open Cup. Lionel Miranda. His first start since the end of March.
Matt, we talked about the 4-5-1 and how it could be advantageous on the counterattack, but you have to have outlets. The Dynamo this time, when the ball is picked up by Alex in midfield, it's 5 versus 4 in favor of the Dynamo. The recognition you see here to get out in front of the purple players, the Aztec players, and what a fantastic pass. A really good first touch, though, by Miranda that he has time to look up but doesn't give the goalkeeper the opportunity to come smother it. That's exactly what the Dynamo needed.
Eddie, we saw Miranda score 2 great goals in preseason. One, just a blast against Portland as Steinberger wins it. The other, a cool finish after a great run from Boniek at the end of the preseason against Orlando. But limited playing time for him again, his first start since the end of March. It is first Dynamo goal, and that's the first assist for Alex since his arrival from Chicago.
Well, it's interesting, Matt, because when players don't get a lot of league games, they begin to slowly lose confidence. The one thing I can say about these players, Lovejoy, Steinberger, Hoffman, Alex Lopez, these guys aren't losing any confidence, and it just showed there with the pass and with the cool finish, and that's a credit to Owen Coyle, the head coach.
Tierpak draws a foul on the far side. Free kick to Austin. The other part of it, Eddie, the Dynamo, they've been so healthy this season, relatively healthy. They've had a full squad. Many of these players haven't made the 18-man roster for several weeks at a time.
And again, that's frustration and the loss of confidence comes of that. But when you have a coach and a coaching staff that continues to push you, continues to encourage you, you see the good play that we're seeing from this Dynamo team tonight.
Free kick to come from Andres Cueto. Served right towards Willis. No problem for the big 6'5" goalkeeper in his Dynamo debut. 1-0 Houston. Alex with the no-look pass to put in Miranda. He made no mistake. A cool finish from the Argentine, his first Dynamo goal, and it comes here in the Open Cup. 1-0 Dynamo. Around the half-hour mark. Sturgis with Cochran. Now Ash. And it's lost out here. It's another Dynamo throw-in. This one for Corey Ash. Good ball, Rodriguez, wide right. Sarkoty pushing for it. Miranda wants it again. Driven service. Hoffman lays it back. Miranda thought about the shot. Instead goes for the cross. Good block that time by Timbo. Mikey Ambrose helping out. Miranda cannot win a corner kick and now cleared away by Fernando Timbo.
And that's good by the Dynamo again. Austin Aztecs, their outlet player, their target man is 30 yards from goal. Dynamo already have 6 in the box.
Ash towards the end line. Lovejoy trying to get there. And good shielding that time by Lance Rosabou.
The good possession from the Dynamo and the patience and the switch of the point of attack allows more players to join and get in the box when that ball goes wide to Lovejoy.
Follow U.S. Soccer's coverage of the Lamar Hunt U.S. Open Cup on Twitter at Open Cup. And USsoccer.com is your source for full coverage of the 2014 Lamar Hunt U.S. Open Cup. You can also follow coverage of the tournament on Twitter at Open Cup. USL had a field day in round 3 with 7 wins against NASL foes, but MLS is bringing them back down to earth. As we glance at scores from across the Open Cup tonight, New York City FC leading the Cosmos 2-0. Charleston leading Orlando. That would be a big win. The Battery always seem to play well in this competition, Eddie.
Well, they always seem to have a good squad, Matt. I mean, the Dynamo fortunate to partner with them this year, sent a couple players there on loan. Memo Rodriguez, kid I coached in the academy, excellent player, real exciting players down there right now. But to be honest, you can't ever be surprised when Charleston's doing that to an MLS team.
And then the Charlotte Independents leading the New England Revolution 1-0 in New England tonight.
Wow, now that's surprising.
Here it's Dynamo 1, Austin 0, Leonel Miranda. A good finish off a great feed from Alex. Now it's Tierpak trying to break through. May have been fouled by Corey Ash. It's waved off by the referee.
Really good build-up from Austin, but a great tackle from Corey Ash. You talk about a player, could ask if he's lost any confidence. Corey Ash playing very well tonight.
Wide right, Gunderson, good service. Nice timing and position from Rodriguez.
How about that touch? To bring it down. He's jumped in the air over a player, brought it down with one touch, and dribbled out of his own 18. I keep hearing wonderful things from the Dynamo players about Raul Rodriguez, but watching him do that kind of stuff, this guy's a player.
And now we'll pause 10 seconds for a station ID. Back here on Yahoo Sports Radio 1560 and HoustonDynamo.com. Chris Tierpak being assessed, but this looks like a cooling break, Eddie.
Well, I mean, all the guys are going to go over and get water when there's an injury, especially when the humidity and heat's the way it is. And we just saw on the replay right there, Corey Ash comes to cover from his left side, and it's got to be difficult for Corey Ash not getting minutes this year, but he's been excellent tonight.
Yeah, as we said, Eddie, over 200 appearances with the Dynamo, second most all-time. A 2-time All-Star, part of the Gold Cup team in 2013, but DeMarcus Beasley comes in for his 4th World Cup, and he has displaced him at left back. So not an official cooling break. Looked like it might have been one, but I think kind of gamesmanship from both sides, and we're back in play.
The guys are going to get water. Cooling breaks for me in professional soccer are a joke.
Tierpak not back on the field, so the Dynamo up a man for the moment.
I mean, you don't have an altitude break when you're in Salt Lake City or Denver, do you? It's part of the it's part of the home field advantage. It is what it is. If you prepare properly, you don't have to worry about it. When I was playing here in Houston, I took extra electrolytes and chugged 2 Gatorades and 2 waters before every training session, let alone games. I have to go to the bathroom a lot? Absolutely. But was I still going at the end of training? Absolutely. If you prepare your body correctly, you'll be fine. It's nice cool rain tonight. It's not that hot. I don't think they're worried about water breaks.
Eddie, what's the most weight you ever lost in one game or training session?
Don't know, Matt. Never weighed myself. Thought it was hogwash. I'm old school, bro. There were guys that lost 10 to 12 pounds. But That's the way it is. If you're a professional athlete, you deal with it.
The rain has started to fall again here in Houston. First time during the run of play. Lovejoy, excellent effort to win the corner kick.
And Rob Lovejoy's proven throughout the season in his limited minutes that when he gets the ball and runs at players, he's going to beat guys. He's going to get the ball in the box. That's the first time tonight we've seen him get in that situation. If the Dynamo are smart, they'll get him that ball a little bit more out there on the wing. Because even if he doesn't get the cross off, still draw a foul.
Alex to take this, top of the box. Miranda back to the Brazilian. Alex trying to cut in 1 versus 2. And it's a goal kick to Austin.
Yeah, if I'm AJ Cochran and Raul Rodriguez right now, I'm cussing them. I'm coming up there for a reason. Your center backs, your holding midfielders, the big boys are coming up there for a reason. Give them a chance.
Ash in a foot race with Toure. And Toure, too much contact on Corey Ash. Free kick to Houston.
So easy, so smart by Corey Ash. And the one time that we saw this cross-field ball work into Toure stayed wide on the wing while Corey Ash was pinched inside. That time, Toure makes his run inside, and you'll see the ball get splayed over top, and Corey Ash knows, I'm just going to get in front of him and stop. Just slow down, because you know the contact's coming. The only thing he can do is foul. That's a veteran play by Corey Ash.
Lovejoy wins the header. Good footwork. Lovejoy on his right. And he'll test Devin Perales.
He had a little flashback from his goal earlier this year.
Wonder goal against the Montreal Impact. His first professional goal, but Lovejoy's had 3 chances now. The first one, great backpedaling, and as Eddie said, the right instep. Then he tried the short-range chip, and that one, a right-footed curler from 25 yards out as Alex is whistled for a foul.
Good patience again by the Dynamo. Chandler Hoffman letting the center back Roseboom advance it a little bit, take his own angle away, and then pressure. Then the Dynamo players in the midfield, Alex, Steinberger, AJ Cochran, Corey Ash. It makes play predictable, so they can get nice and tight on the players and try to win it back.
It's towards Miranda. Chested down. Keep long for.
Very good. And Lovejoy looking to get in behind. Referees and Joe Macknick on ESPN FC and the Women's World Cup talk about, well, his arm's out by his side. He's making himself bigger. And we'll see here. Maybe I'm wrong. Let's have a look at the replay. You can see it's a great flick here. Yeah, okay, fair enough. His arm's a little bit out. I thought it was in closer to his body. His arm's a little bit out by his side, but I don't think it's unnatural. I think you're keeping your balance. I don't think it's a yellow card. I think it's definitely a handball and a free kick. No argument there. But it's open to interpretation. It's a gray area.
He has taken almost all the set pieces. Andres Cueto, Austin native. Westlake High School, played at UNC Charlotte. Cueto with the service. Willis read it well. A few wasted set pieces the last few opportunities for Austin.
You said it, Matt. Wasted. They haven't done anything from the run of play, but they have gotten some set pieces in dangerous situations, and they've gotten some decent service. That time, the service is very poor. Give your guys a chance. I think Austin has the height advantage.
Lance Rosaboom wearing the captain's armband tonight. He's from Walker, Iowa, played at Clemson and also University of Central Florida. Good switching ball. And then lost in the end by Mikey Ambrose. Ambrose played at Maryland, came out a year early to go pro with Austin. Would have been a senior this upcoming fall. Lovejoy on the ground. Torres Hoffman, well read that time by Rosaboom.
That one was a little bit forced. Keep possession there if you're Rob Lovejoy.
Tierpak on his left. Well hit and a good save by Joe Willis. So Tierpak not afraid to take it from distance as we saw there.
Talk about transitions where a lot of the chances have come from, the Dynamo goal. And here, Rob Lovejoy, a silly turnover. lay it off, keep possession of the ball. But Tierpak, a great strike across Joe Willis, and Joe Willis does very well to get down and get a piece of this.
A good night to use the ground to your advantage on a slick surface.
There you go.
Service on the surface. Cueto to take. High lofted ball, back post. Sturgis did enough. Cueto. Good ball that time. Back post, free header. And it's right at Willis. Glorious chance for Fernando Timbo, the 23-year-old Brazilian.
And Raul Rodriguez immediately asking his teammates, who's got him? The first one's always the easy one to mark. And you'll see here, it's the second one that's the issue. And I was ready to call offsides. But Timbo came from onsides. Because I thought Malumbo was offsides there. But listen, you cannot let your man go. If the ball gets cleared out, you stick with them. You keep a handful of jersey until that ball gets cleared for good.
Cochran back to Willis. Cueto will apply pressure. And Cochran unable to settle. It's an Austin throw-in right next to Mano Manotas, the Dynamo substitute, getting loose. He should make his debut tonight, the 19-year-old Colombian.
Owen Coyle up, getting after the referee. He didn't like that one. There's been the argument in the past that the U.S. Open Cup doesn't matter so much to the MLS teams. They don't put a lot of stock in it, but that reaction right there from Owen Coyle tells you exactly what he thinks of this tournament.
Andres Cueto, another set piece. High, lofted towards the back post. Nodded back towards the top of the box. Good win from Hoffman. Aranda, game opening up here. Here's Alex, has two options. Lovejoy staying on side to the left. And he could not continue his run. He knew he'd be offside.
That's just lazy. If you're Rob Lovejoy, stay on side. It's 3 versus 3. It's 3 versus 3. Stay on sides. There's 5 minutes left in this half. Another goal from the Dynamo. Really puts Austin in a hole, mentally and physically. You gotta stay on sides there. There's no excuse to be offsides in that situation.
Eddie, another great pass from Alex. His Dynamo debut, you see why. He had 77 appearances with Chicago. Dynamo acquired him April 13th for Jason Johnson. But this is just the kind of game where Alex can have his influence.
Yeah, and we talked, and Owen Coyle's asking these guys tonight, make it difficult for me. When it comes time to pick the team in Portland on Saturday, make it difficult for me. And Alex is doing that. He's putting his name in there.
Sarkodie tripped up from behind by Tierpak. It was a square ball from Lovejoy across the back that Tierpak nearly got to.
You see here, Kofi Sarkodie with the big touch and easy call for the ref.
Steinberger getting forward. He took it down with the chest on Cochran's forward ball. Steinberger wide right. Sarkodie driven service, top of the box, headed away by Toure. Re-won by Alex. Now Austin tries to break, good pressure by Sturgis right on the back of Cueto. Here come the Aztecs. Saini Toure against Cochran. 1 versus 1. Toure into the box. Great help from Sarkodie. Coming from the weak side. He may have got Toure, but he stopped the attack.
How many times have we seen that, Matt, over the last few years? Kofi Sarkodie tracking back at pace, covering his center back. Very good by Toure. Good move. Waits till A.J. Cochran commits, and then here you go. You see Kofi Sarkodie coming in there. Hopefully it's not too bad. Hopefully it's just a knock. Because he's been one of the few bright spots for Austin tonight, Toure has, with his pace and with his size.
Toure did not play in the first 2 Open Cup wins against San Antonio and Laredo, but well-traveled in his professional career. San Antonio, Harrisburg City Islanders, and as we said, New York Red Bulls. Rise and shine, chicken eaters. With more than 65 Chick-fil-A restaurants in the greater Houston area, being a morning person has never been easier. Available Monday through Saturday starting at 6 a.m. Chick-fil-A. We didn't invent the chicken, just the chicken sandwich.
I'm not sure I'm comfortable with that name you just called me. Did you just call me a chicken eater?
Eddie Robinson, chicken eater?
Huh.
Appropriate?
I don't know. Scottish Tourette's, that's what I'll say. Scottish Tourette's. Go on YouTube, look up Scottish Tourette's.
Ball will be put in play at the feet of Joe Willis. 44th minute, Dynamo 1, Austin nothing. 4th round of the U.S. Open Cup. Winner advances to the round of 16. The draw is tomorrow, 10 a.m. Central Time. And the round of 16 is June 30th or July 1st. And the draw will be streamed live tomorrow at ussoccer.com. And they'll also announce the process for the Open Division, which is the amateur qualifying for next year's tournament later this week.
We should put an all-broadcast team together.
Next year?
Yeah.
4 teams were in the tournament in the preliminary round this year, but
What's the entry fee? Any idea?
I don't know.
A couple $100? We could pull that.
Who would you look to poach from other broadcast teams?
Probably Kevin Hartman.
All right.
Kevin Hartman in goal. We might be able to talk Taylor Twellman into coming in and playing. Kyle Martino. Stu Holden. I mean, you can't tell me he's not fit yet. He's just lazy. He could go back and play. He's just lazy. I know Mark Chung's still pretty fit. He may not be broadcast, but he's around. We get him. Eric Winalda, maybe? He wasn't so bad in his day. Brian McBride. Yeah, we could certainly maybe Brad Friedel, Casey Keller. I mean, yeah, listen, we probably put together a pretty solid squad.
Brian Ching has come on a few Dynamo radio broadcasts. He's done some pregame show work. Three minutes of time will be added on here at the end of the first half. And the Dynamo gain a free kick right in front of the Austin bench. 1-0 Houston. Lionel Miranda, his first Dynamo goal. Off a great feed from Alex, his first assist in his Dynamo debut. What would you like to see on this set piece, Eddie, here at the end of this first half?
Whipped in, low and hard, kind of between the 6 and the penalty area. Not directly at the goalkeeper. And to be fair, maybe a left footer.
Good work from Tierpak. Miranda tracking back on this near side. Lofted in, decent ball, but Miranda did well, chesting it down.
How about that? Miranda over the ball, outside of the opponent's 18. It's a crap ball and gets back to win the cross at his end of the field. Now that right there, every coach is going to mark that down in his book. This guy cares. This guy cares when you hit a bad cross and you track back 70 yards to win the defensive cross in your own box. That was excellent from Lionel Miranda.
Eddie, the ball came from Tony Rochaud. He's a Houston native, played with Houston's Texans before going to Tulsa, but he's at Klein Oak High School. So a rival of the Dynamo Academy, playing against the Dynamo here in the Open Cup. We are in first half stoppage time. 3 minutes is the estimate. Here's Miranda. Austin content to back off here at the end of the half. Nate Sturgis. Good work, Rodriguez. Now he tries to spring the attack, but lost out in the end.
Now you got to recover. I mean, this is time. Don't give up a counterattack. You're the Houston Dynamo. Raul Rodriguez, win it, play it, get back to your spot.
Alex dropping off. He's really been the facilitator tonight, the veteran from the Chicago Fire, playing a central role tonight in his Dynamo debut. And there's the halftime whistle. Eddie, after 45 minutes, a 1-0 lead for the Dynamo. What are your thoughts on that half?
Listen, if you're Houston, this is exactly where you want to be. Joe Willis really hasn't been tested at all tonight. The Dynamo probably with a little bit sharper, a little bit mentally sharper on the turnover. When they win that ball in midfield, could have a few more chances. Another goal or two, I think, puts this game away. But going into the half, this is exactly what Owen Coyle wanted.
We will take a break. When we come back on the radio side, we'll have highlights and scores from across the Open Cup. On the web stream, we have some good video content for you. Halftime from BBVA Compass Stadium in the 4th round of the U.S. Open Cup. It's the Houston Dynamo 1, Austin Aztex 0.
As a BBVA Compass customer, you have the chance to show your true colors every time you open your wallet.
Wow. Oh, yeah.
Presenting Dynamo Banking, featuring debit and credit card options that can help you reach your goals. Open your account today at any of our 80 locations in Houston or online at bbvacompass.com/dynamo. Team works in soccer and in banking.
BHP Billiton is a leading global resources company with mining and oil and gas interests worldwide. Our reputation is built on proven performance, helping provide the energy that keeps the world moving, cities growing, communities thriving. And we combine this innovative spirit with a commitment to sustainability, developing natural resources with responsibility and integrity, today and for years to come. BHP Billiton, resourcing the future.
America, center of equal daughters, equal sons, all alike and good, grown, ungrown, young or old, fair, enduring, capable, rich, perennial with the earth, with freedom, law, and love.
He's taking the world by storm. Grammy-nominated Ed Sheeran, live in concert. BBVA Compass Stadium, September 3rd, with special guest Christina Perri. Tickets on sale now at bbvacompassstadium.com, axs.com, or by phone. The #1 selling album, Multiply, is in stores and online now. There's more at edsheeran.com. Produced by AEG Live and the Messina Group.
Learn soccer the Dynamo way and start your path to the pros. The Houston Dynamo offer youth programs for every age and skill level, from a challenging introduction to soccer to intensive competition training and opportunities to play for the Dynamo Academy.
This is Ricardo Clark of the Houston Dynamo. The Dynamo youth programs offer the professional environment required to develop your game and prepare you for success.
To find out more or to register for Dynamo youth programs, visit HoustonDynamo.com.
Hola a todos, aquí estamos con nuestro nuevo jugador del Houston Dynamo desde Colombia, Mauro Manotas. Mauro, ¿cómo estás?
Bueno, muy bien, gracias a Dios. Primero que todo, darle las gracias a Dios por esta hermosa oportunidad que me da y a ustedes por la invitación.
Sí, desde que te anunciamos, toda la gente está bien emocionada. Y cuéntanos un poco de ti. Entonces, ¿de dónde eres? ¿Cómo fue crecer en Colombia? Y un poquito de tu familia.
Bueno, yo soy de Colombia, soy de Sabana Larga, Atlántico. Bueno, empecé a jugar fútbol desde que tengo memoria, desde muy pequeño, la verdad. Siempre tuve el sueño y esas ganas de salir adelante y de poder ser un futbolista profesional y con la ayuda de Dios y del apoyo de mi familia y de todas las personas que siempre estuvieron ahí, hoy es un sueño hecho realidad y muy contento por eso.
¿Y quién fue la primera persona que quizás te dio el balón para que jugaras fútbol? ¿Te acuerdas de eso?
No, mi padre desde pequeño siempre tenía el balón ahí, nunca tuve carro, nunca tuve moto ni nada de eso, siempre tuve mi balón y mi guayito ahí y gracias a él lo hice y tengo esa gran enseñanza y gracias a él sé todo lo que sé hoy en día.
También me dicen que te gusta el béisbol. Ese es un deporte que es también popular allá en Colombia y fuiste a un partido ayer de los Astros. ¿Y cómo estuvo eso?
No, muy, la verdad que muy contento. Allá en Colombia, especialmente en Barranquilla, ese es como decir el segundo deporte de allá después del fútbol, por el carrentería que estuvo acá en las grandes ligas y a los colombianos les gusta bastante, a mí me gusta mucho el béisbol, la verdad que tenía ese sueño de poder ver un partido de béisbol en vivo en un estadio y bueno, gracias a Dios se me dio esa oportunidad.
Entonces la pasaste bien.
Excelente.
Entonces, ¿qué son tus metas mientras estás aquí en Houston?
Bueno, tengo muchos objetivos, muchas metas. Desde que entré y pisé acá a Houston, me puse en esa tarea de trabajar, de poder ayudar al equipo primero que todo. Esa es mi idea principal de poder obtener los mejores resultados con el equipo, poder estar en las mejores posiciones y pegar el título. Y bueno, personalmente hacer las cosas bien, realizar un buen trabajo acá, dejar una buena imagen y ser goleador, que para eso son los delanteros y para eso vengo.
¿Y cómo has sido aquí con tus nuevos compañeros? Ya hay muchos que hablan español y eso ayuda demasiado. ¿Y cómo ha sido eso?
No, bien, con los compañeros desde el primer día que llegué, me acogieron de la mejor manera, al igual que el cuerpo técnico también. Me sentí muy cómodo y estoy muy cómodo, ya siento que hago parte ya de la familia y todo.
Entonces algo que vamos a hacer es para que conozcas más de Houston, vamos a preguntarles a todos los que están viendo que te den recomendaciones de qué hacer en Houston, qué restaurantes o qué ideas ellos tienen. Entonces dejen un mensaje allá abajo y ellos pueden ganar una jersey, una camisa firmada por Mauro. Muchas gracias por estar aquí con nosotros, estamos emocionados de tenerte y esperamos verte ahí jugar muy pronto. Muchas gracias.
Bueno, muchas gracias a ustedes y por la invitación. La verdad que me siento muy contento, muy complacido de estar acá. Y pues nada, vengo a trabajar, a hacer las cosas bien, ayudar al equipo y dejar un buen legado acá y dejar el nombre de Colombia y de todo en alto acá.
Perfecto. Muchas gracias. Bye.
So have a good base of support. Make sure you squeeze that glute.
New York, I was here before, so I know it a little bit, and my wife is here as well. So yeah, probably this trip was one of the best so far. But to be honest with you, most of it is about if you win or not. It's not just about the city, if you like it or not. If you win, whenever it's okay. I mean, I'm happy in any place.
So we're setting up while the guys are at the hotel. Just get everything prepped, ready, get the starters stuff all, make sure the jerseys are pressed and everything. Have the putting out the sliders, socks, boots, everything's top notch. Coach is happy, everybody else is happy. And then we'll be ready for game day. It's just to go beat NYCFC.
It is Will Bruin who hammers it home, his 5th of the season, and Houston takes the lead a quarter hour in. David Villa steps in and buries it.
Here it's a very good locker room. There's a very good ambient so far, So as long as the results keep coming and we feel right, it's a good place to be. It's a good place, good people.
Welcome today's game officials, the visiting Houston Dash.
Take away the
Italian where you have the noodles and you suck them in at the same time.
Welcome back to BBVA Compass Stadium with four-time MLS Cup winner Eddie Robinson. I'm Matt Peterson. Set for the second half. First half goal from Lionel Miranda off a great feed from Alex, and already one change for Paul Dalglish, as we will see a man who spent some time in Houston as a younger man, and he will join the fray. Mazi Giorio, a Canadian-raised midfielder who grew up on Prince Edward Island off the coast of New Brunswick and Nova Scotia, spent a year with the Dynamo Academy in 2009, spent time at the San Jacinto College, and after last season with Minnesota United, he comes on for the second half. And Eddie, you know a little bit about him from Paul Dalglish.
Well, yeah, he was one that Paul Dalglish talked about at length today that used to be in the Dynamo Academy. He says this guy's one of the most technically gifted players he's ever seen. He has an issue with pace. He's not the fastest. He's not going to be bombing all over around the field, but he's very good on the ball. And I think this is a very good move by Austin, because they have gotten some good turnovers in decent spaces, but haven't had that last pass, haven't had a good strike on goal. So maybe he's the catalyst that Austin needs to maybe test Joe Willis a little bit in the second half.
He comes on for Greg Mulamba. So after his Austin debut, he comes off at halftime. Mazi Giorio, 25-year-old, born in Yugoslavia, moved to Stratford, Canada as a youngster, and then spent 3 or 4 years in the Houston area. San Jacinto College, a junior college powerhouse here in Texas. Sirpak heads it wide. It's a Dynamo throw-in. What would you like to see early both of these teams, Eddie?
Well, if you're Austin, we just mentioned it. Can you get Giorio on the ball? Is he creative, as Paul Dalglish says? Can he find Cuero, Tierpak, Torre in the attack? They need to get some shots off. They need to gain some confidence going forward. They haven't been bad defensively. They haven't been too bad in the midfield, but that attacking third just hasn't been clicking. For the Dynamo, just more of the same. A little bit of patience in the attack, switch the point of attack, and use that opportunity to get numbers in the box, because
here's an overlapping run from Sarkoty. He gets it from Miranda. Kofi Sarkoty with a step over. Now the ball towards the top of the box. Good touch from Alex. He tries to win it back. But two players wanted it, both Hoffman and Alex.
Exactly what we were talking about. Switch the point of attack, 4 guys in the box. Alex's first touch, and then he shoves Hoffman out of the way to get on the end of it. I think Hoffman was really lining up to get some power behind his right foot. Alex pushes him out of the way and tries to chip the goalkeeper with his left. But that's what the Dynamo need. Use Coriash, use Kofi Sarkoty's ability on the wings, get numbers in the box.
Miranda, good ball. Here is Alex. Has Steinberger and Hoffman. Looking towards Hoffman. Header dealt with well that time by Gunderson. Good takeover, Lovejoy at the end line, top of the box. And one.
Good movement in there by
Dossi.
Good movement in there by Steinberger to pull out away from goal and then try to get to the end line for a low, hard one across. Lovejoy didn't see him. Well, that started from great movement from Alex coming from the inside as that left back. Number 3, Ambrose, committed. He comes and fills that space.
Tierpak versus Cochran. Chris Tierpak. Now a service. Steinberger missed the Header off the bounce, kept alive by Toure. Steinberger scrapping in there. Now Tierpak in behind. Driven cross.
Great little ball in there from Roca. But nobody in the box. Again, this is for Austin. When you get in those opportunities, you got to get numbers in the box because you may not have many chances.
And now Sturgis called for a foul on the far side.
As we saw in the first half, Matt, Austin didn't create a lot from the run of play. Really, there are only 2 times they look dangerous from set pieces. Now they've got a good one. The service has to be good here.
1-0 Dynamo, 49th minute. Mazzi Giorio. Now it comes. Back post, good weighted ball, but a whiff from Saini Toure. So the Gambian had a pretty good chance on the half volley. Tried a big strike, couldn't connect. Advantage play, here comes Hoffman. Alex is in an offside position. And a Dynamo counterattack, all for naught.
And this is another inexcusable one. There's no reason to play this ball to Alex. On the left side, you've got Rob Lovejoy staying onside. Nobody anywhere near him. Play that ball into space for Lovejoy. You've got 2v2 in the box. And these are those opportunities, Matt, we talked about at the end of the first half. That the Dynamo need 1 or 2 of these, and they need to put them away, and they can maybe rest a little bit, take a deep breath. But until they do, only takes 1 for Austin to get back in this game.
Andres Cuero. Wide right, service. And now an overhead kick pulled well wide. That will be out for a throw-in. But a confident take that time from Saini Toure.
Yeah, and a very poor counterattack from the Dynamo now leads to an opportunity. A half chance, a bit ambitious from Toure, but a chance for Austin. And you can see here he's lining this up from the get-go, just doesn't make good contact. But for the Dynamo, again, maybe he does make good contact. Maybe that flies into the upper corner and it's 1-1 when you probably should have scored on the counter at the other end. Unacceptable.
Toure, 2 goals and an assist in 8 games this season. Looking for his first goal in this Open Cup round. Miranda, good ball towards Steinberger. Mishandled momentarily, but then some help as Timbo helped out Roseboom.
Roseboom trying something a little tricky there. Almost didn't come off. We see Steinberger fill in that spot that Alex filled a little bit earlier. When Ambrose commits higher up the field to Miranda, it leaves big spots out here on the wing, and Dynamo have exploited it twice.
Good ball from Ash. Chested down, Steinberger tries to connect with Hoffman, but good defending in the end. That was Tony Rocha. Here comes Tierpak running at AJ Cochran. Chris Tierpak.
Tell you what, watching Toure pick up that ball in midfield and stride past players on his own team and the Dynamo like they weren't even there, give him the ball back. He looks motivated. Give him the ball. He really has been in the first half, really one of the only bright spots for the Austin attack. Give him the ball.
Yeah, it feels like if a goal's going to come, it's going to be from Toure or Tierpak most likely for the Austin Aztecs. Giorio goes down. Referee lets them play. Hoffman tries to turn. Gutasi, wide right. Mazzi Giorio. You can tell that you mentioned he's not the fastest in the eyes of Paul Dalglish, but he might just sit near that center circle and distribute.
Well, the problem with that is he has to have the ball to distribute it, and he really hasn't been on it at all. And if he has, he's been under pressure very, very quickly. So it's up to him to find gaps and get on the ball, and for his teammates to get him the ball.
53rd minute. With Eddie Robinson, I'm Matt Peterson from BBVA Compass Stadium, 4th round U.S. Open Cup. Winner advances to the round of 16. They'll learn their opponent tomorrow morning, 10 a.m. Central Time. The draw begins on ussoccer.com.
There's that ball we talked about in the first half. Matt, that big long one from Timbo across to Torre. That time he didn't get all of it. Torre a little bit inside. Needs to stay out on that wing because Corey Ash isn't the tallest. If you give him a chance, Corey Ash is going to win it. He's proven it. He's shown it over years. Tonight he's been all over at 1v1. That ball was very good the couple of times that it was played by Timbo in the first half. It was effective.
Corey Ash, his 2015 debut tonight. Down the line looking for Lovejoy. And Lovejoy does not win a corner. He does not like the call, but it's a goal kick for Austin.
Dynamo, and that's 2 in a row now. In the last 3 minutes, we saw A.J. Cochran try to play one direct over top. Really hasn't worked for the Dynamo this game. Patience in possession, working through Alex, working through Sturgis, Miranda, as we see here. Where they've created their chances are one set pieces.
Sarkody down the line. The flag stays down. Alex will try to run it down. He does. Now he waits for help. Has Miranda. Deflected cross. Steinberger trying to settle. Heavy touch. Cleaned up that time by Tony Rocha. Here's Tierpak against Rodriguez. Great footwork from Tierpak. Cuts inside. Wide left. Here comes Mikey Ambrose. 4 near the box for Austin. Ambrose, left-footed service, back post, and Corey Ash does well. Good position from the Houston left back. Alex heads away. Timbo back in the mix. Cochran away. 3-1 in the middle of the field by Guatasi.
This is another situation, Matt. The Dynamo get the ball in the corner. Alex picks it up. A very careless cross with 5 Dynamo players committed to the attack. That's what starts the counter and give the Dynamo the troubles that they just had. Just a bit careless. That's not good.
Now Cochran will receive some treatment as he may have clashed heads. Eddie, there's an absolute classic going on in Charleston. As Cochran is looked at 4-3 Orlando. They're at halftime of extra time. Justin Portillo equalized, and then later in extra time, Carlos Rivas. So 3 penalties.
If the penalty kick hat trick, come on, what's going on there? There's got to be something going on there. See A.J. Cochran here.
Service from Mikey Ambrose.
This is Corey Ash on the back post. He knows he doesn't have the size to match with Torre, so he has to be perfect positionally. He was there. Very good by Corey Ash.
How many times have we seen that over the years, Eddie? You played with him against taller attacking players. He uses his body so well.
Yeah, I mean, he understands that if he tries to stand still and jump with some of these guys, he's never going to win it. He needs to put himself in a spot. He needs to time his run so that he can be in front of that player and attack the ball. When he can do that, he can jump just as high as anyone. We saw it there. Very good play by Corey Ash.
Sturgis, Lovejoy, good touch. Lovejoy down the line. Here's Rob Lovejoy. Inward towards Hoffman, but cleared away by Timbo. A few moments ago, apparently Nate Sturgis shown a yellow card.
Really?
That's what the box score is saying. We'll keep an eye on that. Good touch. Here's Alex. Great save that time, Perales. Zach Steinberger, great touch to put in the Brazilian. Alex with an assist in the first half, nearly making it 2 with his own goal. Sami Toure past Cochran. Toure back post, free header, put wide by Tierpak. Chris Tierpak in his return to Houston after a great college career at HBU. Had a glorious chance on a free header, but could not put it on target.
The Dynamo are fortunate that most of the chances for Austin tonight fell to Tierpak. You go back to the other end, and the chance that Alex just had, if that's Giles Barnes, if that's Will Bruin, do they just lift it over the goalkeeper, and is it 2-0? Here, just get under it. Just lift it over the goalkeeper. He's low, he's committed. But what happens? The ball goes right down to the other end of the field. And the Dynamo very, very fortunate. A poor challenge by A.J. Cochran gets Toure in. A great cross from Toure to Tierpak, and really just a horrendous header from Tierpak. Should be 1-1. The Dynamo, and you'll see here, he's trying to go back across like you should, but he doesn't get his body position right. His shoulders should be squared up to that back post so he can just put his head through it. He's trying to twist his body and contortion his body. Poor technique, bailed the Dynamo out.
No one within 15 yards of him, Eddie. So a chance on each end, but it remains 1-0 here in the 59th minute.
And you put a Giles Barnes, you put a Will Bruin, you put a Brad Davis, a Boniac Garcia in that situation that Alex was just in. Do they finish it? Do his teammates expect him to finish it and kind of shut down? But that, again, we'll go back to it. The Dynamo, they've had their chances to get a second, to get a third, and put this game away.
Strong challenge, Steinberger. He draws a foul on Fernando Timbo, and Timbo goes into the book. Yellow card caution brought to you by Center Point Energy, always there.
Matt, this is one of those ones, and we'll see on the replay that me being old school, I don't have any problem with this tackle. Everybody's going to say his studs are up, this and that, but he goes through the ball. Let's see on the replay. I could be completely... Well, okay. All right, fair. Good call by the referee, yellow card. I was wrong. I'm always wrong. I'm often wrong. But Steinberger's up, good to go. Good service. Get A.J. Cochran roll.
And it's from Miranda. Good ball back post. Rodriguez on the end of it. Puts it wide. Rodriguez, his only Dynamo goal from a beautiful Brad Davis set piece against Kansas City, a shortly lived go-ahead goal. And a 4-4 classic.
Service a bit long.
Mikey Ambrose, heavy towel. Deft touch forward, Alex. Back towards Sarkoti.
Tell you what, Matt, Alex has been good for me tonight. Very technically. Pick on him a little bit ago for the careless cross that led to a back for us.
The chance, I thought it was a very good save from Peral. Got his hand outstretched.
I agree. He's committed early to go low, and I think he's shown that to Alex early. Maybe a little dink over top, easier said than done.
Toure nearly getting there. He goes down. Good position for the referee, Luis Guardia, as Ash tracked him, but that was Tierpak going over the top for Saini Toure.
The guys look dangerous tonight. He just can't get on the end of anything. But again, this 1-0 lead, Toure, he's looked very dangerous, and he gets on the end of something. Dynamo are going to be struggling. Owen Coyle might be bringing on players that he doesn't necessarily want to. Shouldn't necessarily have to.
Yeah, Eddie, right in front of us, the substitutes warming up with a lot more intensity. Taylor Hunter, a defender, Mauro Manotas, a forward, and midfielder Alex Lopez. The regulars for the Dynamo not really warming up. Will Bruin, Ricardo Clark, Luis Garrido, that sort of makes sense.
Yeah, I mean, you don't want those guys to play if they don't have to. A long travel distance to Portland coming up tomorrow after training. Why not keep those guys fresh?
Sturgis, wide right, Sarkoti, 62nd minute, Dynamo 1, Austin nothing. Sarkoti will slow it down with Miranda, the Dynamo goal scorer. Sarkoti trying to find Steinberger, headed out by Tierpak.
Steinberger's movement was so quick and so good, it caught Kofi Sarkoti off guard, but very good from Zach Steinberger.
Steinberger, edge of the box. Good early ball towards the middle, clearing is Rosaboom. Now Ash, stop and go. Trying to find the end line, couldn't get past Max Gunderson. Rodriguez wearing the captain's armband for the first time in his Dynamo career here in his first season. It's been Brad Davis most of this year. When he's out, Giles Barnes has wearing the armband. Giles is at Copa America, 2 starts. Great touch here, Hoffman. Alex is in, as is Steinberger. Alex may have played it just a touch behind Steinberger there.
So good from Chandler Hoffman. What a good touch on a wet field. Have to be so delicate and so precise. He's been good tonight. He hasn't had his chances in front of goal, but creating for those little runs from the midfield underneath him.
Good work, Ash. Ash still on the dribble, but good defending in the end. And now it's Alex trying his luck from about 22 yards. He pulls it wide. Austin here in the second half, Eddie, trying to play the short goal kicks. And now Alex with a foul on Cueto.
Yeah, they haven't had the most luck playing through the midfield. You know, most of their stuff has come from counterattacks, winning second balls in good spots.
Mazzi Giorio. Tony Rocha. Back to Cueto. Stop and go. Patient. Trying to slip it through, but didn't get enough on it.
I'll tell you what's going to get interesting, Matt, is if this game stays 1-0 with anywhere from 10 to 12 minutes left, and you've got Big Torre up there on Corey Ash, who's small, and now Austin starts launching balls forward, trying to win second ones in and around the box. I think they could become very dangerous. So it's just all the more reason that Dynamo need to get that second goal.
Now the second change from Paul Dalglish. Traven Cesar, the 25-year-old from Trinidad and Tobago. He scored a goal this weekend in Portland against Timbers 2 in a 3-1 defeat. But he will come on here to replace Saini Toure. So I think for the Dynamo, it's a good sign. Toure kind of like stretching his leg out. Maybe he's carrying something, but
maybe
Dynamo will take it, I would think.
There goes my strategy for Austin in the second half. Caesar. Trevin Caesar. Do you think he likes salads? I like Caesar salads.
One of my favorites too. As Alex clips it over the top, Steinberger can't run it down. Good claim from Devin Perales. He's had an active night. 1-0 the Dynamo lead, 66th minute. And Mauro Manotas receiving instruction from the Dynamo coaching staff. He might be set for his Houston debut.
Alex Lopez is over there too.
Good run from the substitute Caesar. And an audacious chip that time from the substitute Mazzi Giorio, former Dynamo Academy product, spent a year in Houston 2009 before San Jacinto College. You think he had any chance there against the 6'5" Joe Willis?
No. Against goalkeepers that big these days, as agile as they are, you have to catch them off guard. You can't be facing goal. It has to be real quick and completely and utterly unexpected.
Warm night tonight. Humidity over 80%. Tropical storm Bill came through Houston yesterday and today. Maybe not as much rain as expected, but the result is a ton of humidity. You can see it on the field tonight. Good ball, Cochran. Miranda with the back heel, but Steinberger not ready for it.
Well, Steinberger making that run in that space again, which was excellent, pulling out a center back. Was looking for the first time ball from Miranda. And that's just a lack of quality time together on the field, chemistry and understanding.
Looks like Alexander Lopez and Mauro Manotas preparing to enter this game for the Houston Dynamo. They have all 3 changes available. They'll use 2 here at the next stoppage. Miranda with Steinberger. Good back here. Here's Lionel Miranda. Has Hoffman in front. And Steinberger. Zach Steinberger, top of the box. It's left by Hoffman. Lovejoy, and another good save from Perales.
I'm not sure if that Hoffman meant to leave that. He just got tripped up by Alex there. Those two combining again for a little bit of misfortune in the box, but Rob Lovejoy exactly where he should be in that situation. But good combination play again from Miranda Steinberger to create this, and we'll see here whether it was an intended dummy or not. A bit of miscommunication. Rob Lovejoy exactly where he should be, but you see the defenders from Austin getting across very quickly, not allowing him to go back to the back post. He has to go near post. Goalkeeper does his job.
And now we'll see the dual substitution. Alexander Lopez, who's become a starter here in his third season with the Dynamo. And then Mauro Manotas, a long chase for Dynamo general manager Matt Jordan. Been tracking him for about 6 months before they got him in just before the May 12th transfer window closed. So it's Manotas on for Hoffman and Alexander Lopez on for Zach Steinberger.
Zach Steinberger, he struggled to get in the game in the first half, but in the second half he was very good. Stretching out those midfielders, coming out in these angles, combining with Lionel Miranda. Very good second half for him. And Chandler Hoffman, I thought he was very good. He didn't have a lot of chances on goal, didn't have a lot of shots, but his hold-up play was very good, and he doesn't have that typical size of a big center forward, a typical number 9. I thought he did very well today for himself.
And then Paul Dalglish, he uses his final bullet. Chris Tierpak is out after going 69 minutes in his return to Houston, and taking his place Bryce Taylor, a Broken Arrow, Oklahoma native who spent some time at SMU up the road in Dallas. So Taylor on for Tierpak. Beg your pardon, not Bryce Taylor. Getting my numbers wrong. It's Brendan King, Eddie, 25-year-old from Illinois. So Brendan King on for Tierpak. I beg your pardon. Corner kick to Austin. It's going to be Mazi Giorio to take. Brendan King did not play Sunday in Portland against Timbers 2. Very shaky service from the corner kick. I think that was a foul on Sturgis, Eddie, as the flag comes up from Manotas.
I think good argument for Austin. A very good argument for Austin. And from our angle, I'm not so sure that was offside. Maybe the assistant referee or say, missed one, my buddy in the center, so I'm going to get this one back.
Yeah, Manotas anxious to have a good debut here in Houston. 19 years of age, he turns 20 July 15th. Alexander Lopez on the ball, finds Manotas. Slender, quick forward, given away by Lopez. Now here comes Caesar. We'll slow it down. Caesar, shot blocked by Sarkoti. Here comes Derek off his line, now back towards goal, and Caesar, not Derek, of course, it's Willis in goal tonight, but Caesar on his second effort puts it out over the end line.
Shocking. Alex Lopez, Rusty coming in. Dynamo, it's 1-0. You cannot afford to gift Austin anything, because if Austin gets a goal here, their mentality changes, their attitude changes, their effort changes. You're in good shape right now. Do not do that.
Rodriguez for Miranda. Sarkoti down the line for Manotas. Brazilian Timbo heads it away. Won by Tony Rocha. Manotas from Sabana Larga, Colombia. 3 appearances at the South American Championships of the U20s for Colombia. One of the last cuts ahead of the U20 World Cup. Good service from this left side from Mikey Ambrose, and dealt with well by Ash.
It's excellent service, and A.J. Cochran just lets it go. Not sure he's getting anything from Joe Willis, and Corey Ash in perfect position again. That's an easy one for Corey Ash to just say, those guys have got it taken care of. I'm going to stop. Somebody sneaks in on the back post. Very good very sharp by Corey Ash.
Ambrose forward, good defending by Lopez. Sarkote has space, wide right. Miranda was held up from behind. The referee sees it. He might show a card here for a cynical foul from Mikey Ambrose, and he goes in the book.
I'll be honest, I think Miranda could have gotten away, but I think he's a little bit tired and wants to catch his breath. He's been working hard tonight, and you can see hands on hips.
Let's pause 10 seconds for a station ID. With Michael Carroll at our KGAL studios and David Ober, our engineer, with four-time MLS Cup winner Eddie Robinson. I'm Matt Peterson with you from BBVA Compass Stadium here on Yahoo Sports Radio 1560 and HoustonDynamo.com. Here comes Miranda. Good layoff Manotas. Hard tackle. Referee says Timbo got it right. And now a mix-up at the back. Cochran and Ash lost it. Here comes Caesar. Caesar is in. Caesar! And just enough from Willis. He tips it off the crossbar. Big mistake in midfield. And Caesar off the bench, nearly scoring for the second straight game.
Well, Corey Ash and A.J. Cochran owe this man Joe Willis dinner tonight. Because Caesar, this is a great strike. I mean, that's an upper corner the whole way, and Joe Willis reacts and just gets enough on it to see it over the bar. But again.
And now a loose ball in the box.
It's
a handball called on Austin.
It's simple mistakes.
Dynamo free kick.
It's simple mistakes, man. And you say what you want about, these guys not getting a lot of time in games, not getting league minutes, but that's just simple. It's very simple. Before either of them even get to that ball, there should be communication. You could tell the way they reacted, Corey Ash and A.J. Cochran, there wasn't communication until they got to the ball. It should be well before.
Caesar scored the lone goal for Portland this weekend. He also scored back on May 27th as Austin upset San Antonio on the road at Toyota Field in San Antonio. So Caesar is an informed forward. He comes off the bench for Paul Dalglish, and the best chance of the night for Austin, most likely. Willis has had a quiet night, Eddie, but he came up big there.
That's his first save, and I believe the first shot on goal by Austin. Let Joe Willis just doing what Tyler Derrick's been doing all year and bailing his teammates out when they need to be. Sign of a good goalkeeper. It's a tradition here in Houston, to be fair.
Sarkote, good ball, finds Lopez, good back heel. Can Miranda get there? He does. Alex spinning, standing on top of it. Gets it towards Manotas. And in the end, good clearance by Max Gunderson.
Wow.
Here comes Caesar again. Gets there before Cochran. Caesar spinning against Cochran at the end line. Keeps it alive, waiting for help in the corner.
Good patience by A.J. Cochran.
Now he slips past two. Caesar is in, top of the box. And blocked by Raul Rodriguez. Former Dynamo Academy man with a glorious chance, Mazi Giorio. Halftime substitute. Had a chance from 15 yards out, but Rodriguez good positioning to block it.
Well, it was good patience by A.J. Cochran to get down there, not get too anxious, but I think he slowed down a little too much, and Caesar made him look foolish. And again, runner at the top of the box, counterattack. Earlier, we saw Owen Coyle. We got a good view of Owen Coyle standing up, showing his 4-3-3. Two holding midfielders and one attacking midfielder. So you've always got six back. The Dynamo can't allow these counterattacks to happen. But credit to Austin. The Austin Aztecs to recognize it and really get after it. And Caesar's been a handful in the second half.
He slipped right between Ash and Cochran at the end line in a perfect layoff for Giorio. It hasn't been easy for the Dynamo tonight. Miranda tried to slip it past Mikey Ambrose. Good position for the former Maryland Terrapin. Now it's Cueto. Back to Mikey Ambrose. Eddie, he left school early to take a position with a USL club. Do you think that's going to be more and more common? College players leaving before their senior year to go lower than MLS?
I would hope not, because I can't imagine the money's that well. And for as short as the average lifespan of an MLS player is, I believe the average lifespan of these lower league players is even shorter. I'm sure he had good reason to do it, but I wouldn't recommend it. I wouldn't recommend leaving college early for MLS unless you can get, and I've seen it happen, Major League Soccer will put into contracts for these younger players that either don't attend college or leave early some kind of stipulation that they will contribute so much towards their college education in the future. If you can get that, fantastic, but...
Ambrose, good settle in front of Miranda.
Not many guys are going to make enough money to retire at the end of an MLS career, no matter how long you play.
1-0 Houston. Certainly an entertaining game. Good goal from Miranda off a great feed from Alex in the first half. That's the difference. Giorio through the middle. And Sarkody, good position at the right back spot. Lopez a bit sloppy in the middle.
Too many turnovers, Matt. Too many silly turnovers for the Dynamo right now. And it looks like Owen Coyle and his staff have had enough. Looks like they're about to bring Ricardo Clark on.
Ambrose, two-man game with the substitute Brendan King. Clark putting the shin guards on, taking the penny off. Good pressure from Manotas against Rosaboom. Eddie Charleston and Orlando are in a shootout, trying to figure out if that thing is over or not, but a classic from Blackbaud Stadium in South Carolina. Dynamo hoping this one doesn't turn into a classic. A one-goal lead at home against Austin. Top of the box, good move. Good sliding block by Cochran. Risky challenge, but he got it right.
Did he just absolutely sell Raul Rodriguez out? By Cuero, that was a fantastic move, and unfortunately for him, AJ Cochran timed that tackle perfectly.
You see it again. It was actually Roshaw, Eddie.
Oh, excuse me, yep.
Cochran left nothing to chance. Yeah. Is that how you have to go in, Eddie, as a former center back, all or nothing there?
Well, if you don't lay out like that, you're not getting to it. And he can go back across to the far post, and there's nothing you can do about it. You have to. You have to try.
Big play from Cochran. Rodriguez, to this point, had a good night, but Roshaw beat him. Houston native, what a homecoming that would have been. After 4 years at Tulsa, this is his first professional season. Played at Klein Oak High School here and against Dynamo Academy rivals Houston Texans. Guatasi, the Brazilian. Cueto. Ref lets them play as Ash does well to win it. Cochran towards Manotas. And Wade Barrett walking over with a substitute's card. Whose name is on it? Probably Ricardo Clark. Cueto nearly caught a possession from Lopez, but does well to get out of it. Lopez, good work tracking back to win it for Houston. Manotas stays on his feet. Referee thought about playing advantage, now he'll call the whistle. Austin has scored late goals in this competition. They scored twice after the 50th minute in their 2-0 win at San Antonio. They got the insurance goal against Laredo in the 73rd minute from Brian Fiquete.
Just saw Owen Coyle absolutely in the face of Ricardo Clark, and I can imagine he's telling him, don't lose the ball, don't allow a goal, stay in your spot. Maybe a little bit more colorful than the words I used, but Ricardo Clark's coming on to sit in, break up plays, keep possession of the ball.
Here's Rodriguez. He wants an attacking player to check. Now Miranda goes away, and Rodriguez not the best ball as Ambrose plays it back to the goalkeeper Perales. Headed down by Ash. Good directional header right to the feet of Lovejoy. Alex spinning. His assist is the difference tonight. Miranda, his goal is the difference. Good strength from the Argentine. Sarkoti, lofted service. The flag comes up against either Manotas or Alex.
Like Alex. But good feet again out here from Lionel Miranda. He's been very good tonight. I'm very impressed.
And there's the change. Ricardo Clark on for Alex. So all in all, 84 minutes in his debut. What'd you think, Eddie?
Well, the fans seem to like it. A lot of people standing up, giving a clap. I thought he was pretty good. He was fairly creative at times. A little bit more time in with his team. I think out of everyone here that isn't a regular starter, I think he did the most for his cause, to further his cause to get MLS minutes tonight than any other Dynamo player.
Yeah, and he seemed to want to assert himself. He's been here 2 months and hasn't played. This is a guy with 77 career appearances. So for him, I'm sure maybe a bit surprised he hadn't played to this point, but it's been a very crowded midfield.
Hey, you said it. It's a crowded midfield. You've got Ricardo Clark. You've got Brad Davis. I mean, even Lionel Miranda's been very good tonight. I mean, who are you going to take out? You know, unfortunately, he's a victim of circumstance right now because the Dynamo have so many good players. I mean, Luis Garrido.
And Luis Garrido, shocking news, maybe not shocking, but very surprising news. He is not part of the 23-man Honduras roster. Boniek Garcia, the lone Dynamo man on the final roster for Luis Pinto.
Well, look, if you're Owen Coyle, you're giggling on the inside. You feel bad for your player. You want your players to get international experience. It only makes them better. But for the Dynamo, I mean, now that we saw the provisional roster for the United States, Brad Davis could disappear. DeMarcus Beasley could disappear. Then you've got Taylor. You've got Barnes. That's 6 players there. Obviously, Cubo Torres wasn't going to be here. He was going to be with Mexico. But I mean, that's 6 players. And who knows now with the legal trouble he's in, whether or not he'll be back or be in Houston at all this season.
Luis Garrido, 24-year-old, started 2 games of the World Cup last year. You would assume World Cup experience would translate to the Gold Cup a year later, but not to be. Now a chance here. Tony Rocha, wide left, and the offside flag came up. So a wasted chance there for Austin. Follow U.S. Soccer's coverage of the Lamar Hunt U.S. Open Cup on Twitter @OpenCup. And USsoccer.com is your source for full coverage of the 2015 Lamar Hunt U.S. Open Cup. Big night tonight. 2 shootouts. One between New York Cosmos and New York City FC. One between Charleston and Orlando. And one upset as New England Revolution fell at home to Charlotte Independence of USL. Here we're now in the 87th minute. Dynamo 1, Austin Aztecs nothing. Second all-time meeting. Dynamo also beat Austin in 2009. That was a 2-0 scoreline. Corey Ash a goal and an assist in that one. Oduro had the other for Houston. That game was in Austin. Lopez, good strength to keep it alive. Miranda's in behind. Manotas a run towards the back post. Miranda will slow it down. Miranda onto his left.
Needs to keep possession of the ball. He's got Alex Lopez. Just keep the ball. There's 4 minutes left plus stoppage time. No reason to try to beat another player in there.
Sarkoti climbs the back of the substitute Brendan King, and a free kick to Austin. King, a starter against Laredo in the second round, did not play in the third round against San Antonio. Mikey Ambrose puts it back into play. Willis started, then he backed off, and look who it is, Eddie. Ricardo Clark off the bench. And he rises to win the big header.
He understands the situation. I think a lot of these guys do. But this is, I expected to see a bit more of this, lobbing the ball into the box, using their size from Austin a little bit earlier on. Now we go back to the first half. When Austin had the second chance to get the ball in the box, because it was extremely upset because Torre was left open on a second ball. That's what the Dynamo need to pay attention in. Not the first one, but the second one.
Tony Rochas spinning. Back to Fernando Timbo. 89th minute, Dynamo trying to see out a 1-0 win. That did the job last year against Laredo. Alex goal. On the night before the World Cup began in the fourth round last year, the Dynamo went on to see Dallas at home in extra time. Tesho Akindele scoring the decisive goal as the Dynamo had a very depleted lineup. I think they fielded 14 players that night, Eddie.
It's tough.
Caesar, he's been quiet after a roaring start off the bench. We had 2 or 3 chances. Now back towards Caesar, and Ash, a good strong header wide again. Caesar against Ash at the end line. Early service towards the near post, and Rodriguez just in. Mario. Raised in Canada. Prince. Two assists this year in 8 games. Good ball towards the middle, and it's headed well wide, but a Austin 80th minute. Now they slip by Manotas. Good goalkeeping. Joe Willis at the near post against Tony Rochas.
He held on to it. Joe Willis hasn't had a lot to do tonight, but when he has, he's been spot on. A good save on Caesar earlier, and then this one here. There's no rebound. He's very, very sure of himself. An Austin player there, wanting to touch it in. Cuero right on top of him.
We will have 3 minutes of time added on here at the end of the second half. So the Dynamo 3 minutes away from advancement. Over the 90 minutes, but a 1-goal lead. Good move from Lovejoy. Now onto his right. Ricardo Clark. He pulls it well wide. It might stay in. It does not for Lopez.
Bit anxious there, Ricardo Clark. Guarantee you that's not what Owen Coyle was telling him to do when he was, come on, get it and shoot it.
He's become more of a goal scorer, Eddie, in his second run with the Dynamo. Scored against New York Red Bulls. A game winner off a set piece a few weeks ago and a 4-2 win. Ambrose trying to seal off Miranda. He does well. Coyle does not like the non-call. One minute gone out of 3 minutes in second half stoppage time. Ball played towards the corner. Sarkote is going to try to watch this out. He does. Goal kick, Houston. On the whole, Eddie, what would you make of this Dynamo performance tonight?
Not bad. Not bad. Seems that the same problems have kind of plagued the Dynamo tonight that have the Dynamo earlier in the season. That last pass, that last touch, that killer instinct to finish when you get your chances and put the game away.
Now it's Manotas. Clark bursting forward. Clark is in. Ricardo Clark. What a finish! Ricardo Clark past Perales. He comes off the bench to see out the game, and he seals it with the second goal.
Well, I'll just insert my foot in my mouth here. You see who got the assist, Matt? Manotas. Very, very good pass. The timing on it, too, to just let Ricardo Clark get to that offsides line before he played it. And I was giving Alex a little bit of flack earlier for not just lifting it over the goalkeeper. As the goalkeeper came out, Ricardo Clark, textbook, clinical. That killer instinct I said was lacking tonight, he brought it on. And that should do it. But up until that point, the first 92 minutes, I think it was lacking a little bit. But for the most part, defensively very good. The midfield for the Dynamo, very good. Austin wasn't extremely dangerous, but they had their chances, and Joe Willis came up big time, so you can't complain. It's a difficult game to play on a difficult night, difficult weather. So overall, not so bad.
Eddie, how important might that be for Mauro Manotas? He's just 19 years old on a new continent from Colombia. Doesn't know the language, but an assist in his 20-minute debut.
Yeah, we talked about confidence and how good Owen Coyle is at instilling that in his players.
And there's the full-time whistle. The Dynamo survived the weather, and they survive a upstart challenge from Paul Dalglish and the Austin Aztecs. Final score, Houston Dynamo 2, the Aztecs nothing. Miranda in the first half, Ricardo Clark in second half stoppage time, Alex and Manotas with the assists, and job done, Eddie Robinson.
Yeah, you said it, job done. Again, we just mentioned it, tough night. Weather's tough opponent you don't know a lot about. The field's not in the best of shape. You got a lot going against you, but mentally I think the Dynamo did their job. They did their work. They could have been a little bit more clinical in front of goal, but this is a single elimination. As long as you win, you don't have to worry about it. Dynamo did that tonight.
Eddie, now the Dynamo go to Portland on Saturday. They finally go home after 4 straight away from home, and they have to deal with a difficult situation with so much rain in Texas in the month of May and now in June. Their home stadium, House Park, was flooded. We saw the pictures online. The crossbars of the goals were underwater. The artificial turf will now be replaced by the school district. Their next home game is Saturday, but they now have a new home in nearby Round Rock, Texas.
And that's got to be difficult for them. That the mental struggle to get through that, and we saw it. And man, feel bad for them, feel bad for their fans, but the team, Paul Dalglish has put together a good team. Some good attitude from players out there. They never quit. They never gave up tonight. So credit Austin with that. And I expect, given a couple years, Paul Dalglish will turn this into a very good team.
Yeah, it's called an expansion team, although they were PDL last year, but pretty good. In their first professional season, they beat Laredo, they beat San Antonio, and they went toe-to-toe at times with the Houston Dynamo at this stadium.
Yeah, all good things, all positive things, and as long as you can continue to build. Same thing with the Dynamo earlier this year. They struggled a bit early in the season. As the season's gone on, they've gotten a little bit better and a little bit better and a little bit better. And that's all you can ask for. And as long as that Paul Dalglish can get this out of this Austin team, they'll be a force to be reckoned with in the future. And how about that over in the corner, the traveling supporters for Austin? It's good to see.
Yeah, Eberle's Army, they chartered a bus to Houston today. They made it through the storm, and they are here, and they're supporting their team. Well, thank you to Eddie Robinson for his help tonight on the broadcast. We will take a break. When we come back, we'll stay with you on the radio side on Yahoo Sports Radio 1560. This will end our web stream. Thanks again to Eddie Robinson. I am Matt Peterson. Final score in the 4th round of the U.S. Open Cup. It's the Houston Dynamo 2, the Austin Aztecs nothing.